Hey guys, and welcome back to Scotty Knows. Today we're back here working on the D16. As you can see in that previous clip, I actually had to retap some of the holes here because actually with these bolts, I was having trouble, and I think that's what caused the issue, for this thing not to go through properly. So I actually had to retap these bolts. That way everything kind of threads nice. That way everything goes down. I got the bolt holes all cleaned out. These seem to screw on first, so I went ahead and got those all tapped out. Everything seems to be working well. So I did get all new bolts, got some of my Honda stuff in here, some more packages, all that good stuff. Got to playing around with some of the fuel rail mounts. So I got some new fuel rail mounts, some of that hardware here, so it's looking pretty good. Everything's gonna look fresh. I gotta finish tightening those up, get those threads inside the intake manifold there. That way I can go ahead and get everything kind of mounted up and bolted up. So that's coming along. Also, for the fuel rail, I did get my 90 degree here. So what I'm going to do is actually get some fuel kind of stuff. I guess some of that, I don't know, some of that goop you put on there to kind of keep it from leaking and stuff. So I'm going to work on that too. I got to get some of that, but I am focusing on this and getting this installed right now. So I'm thinking about still kind of painting this because you can kind of still see that. As you can see on the other motor that I did, you can still kind of see some of that exposed. Of course, the other side I'm not too worried about. So I'm thinking about go ahead and painting that to kind of make it look a little good. It's being semi-perfectionist. So let me get things prepped up here. I'll go ahead and get this ready to go and we'll see if we can paint that. All right, so second thought. I know I'm a little perfectionist, but I went ahead and cleaned it up a little bit. I think it's kind of a pain in the ass to probably tape this thing up, but I went ahead and cleaned it up pretty well. I think it'll be fine. You're not going to see a whole lot of it anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and send it, get everything set up, get these new bolts on, and go from there. Alright, so next day here, we got the camshaft installed. Everything's looking good. I put the valve cover on just to kind of protect it. It's been about, I'd say, well, probably a couple days really. But the good news is I got a whole plethora of new parts here. So things are starting to come in. I even got some brackets on the ground, kind of tinkering around. Went ahead and got my new Gates racing timing belt, just kind of played in there. Still got to put the crank on. Of course, I got my gauge hooked up to my 90, just kind of got that in there. Still got to wrap some tape or some putty around there so it doesn't leak any gas. Got some things going, so it's a beautiful day. I'm going to take this opportunity. I got some brackets here. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to paint. So let me grab some stuff, clean these up a little bit, and we'll get painting. Alright guys, so it's been a couple days. I got a bunch of stuff painted somewhere around here, my bracket and all that good stuff, and I got some new parts in, power steering pump, new alternator, and of course some of the things that I'm working on, which is the alternator bracket. So you've seen that probably the last clip, I got that going. Problem being is that this little grommet here, bolt holder or whatever was touching the alternator. Let me see. And what I did was kind of get it in here. I probably need to tap it down on this side a little bit more. Kind of get it flush. Let's see if that works. So, trying to get this bracket around here, and it looks like I got it. But this piece here on the inside was actually over inside here a little bit more, and it was rubbing against the metal piece on the inside of the alternator. So I took my little makeshift tool, I was able to get it to kind of fit in there. So all I did was get a piece of all thread, put some bolts on there, kind of lock it in there, and was able to tap it. So it should work. So let me get this going and see if I can mount this alternator. Alright, so I went ahead and got everything on. I went ahead and got some new Honda bolts. I had to upgrade my washer. My washer I had put on there initially was kind of small. Of course, I'll tighten this down once I get everything adjusted with the new belts and all that good stuff. But I did get some new Honda hardware. So everything is looking good. I had to adjust this a little bit so it's, slides freely in here. That way I can adjust it once I get everything hooked up. So next I'm gonna play around with the power steering area here, see if I can get this mounted up and see how that goes. Hopefully I don't get the belt in the way. We'll see how that goes. So I got the bracket kind of on. I'm missing a bolt. I got to find some of these. That way I have those. So yeah, I might have to order some more, but it's looking pretty good. I think the bracket matches pretty well. Everything is looking good. Alternator is on. Coming along. Unless I get to mess with the crank. I still got to paint that, which actually I do have over here. So I still got to paint that. But we're coming along. I got my new power steering pump, all that good stuff here. Got some new, well actually I got my 6AN fuel adapter here so that way I can hook up my lines. I did get some new lines and some 6AM fittings amongst a bunch of other Honda hardware, so it's coming along. Of course, just rummaging around my bolts, I did find the original power steering bracket bolts. So I might be able to use those. I don't think they're terrible. I'm just being a little extra with the shininess of everything, so I don't know if that necessarily makes a difference, but I may end up using those in the interim just to kind of get things moving. Don't want to hold everything back. But yeah, it's coming along, and I apologize for delay in setting out content, but again, it's the first performance motor I built, and trying to come up with the research and all the parts that I need to make sure everything is correct is quite difficult. So I do appreciate those online that actually have sent me messages and helped me out a little bit, so it definitely does help. But yeah, it's coming. I still got to adjust the valve lash. I'll do that once I get all this stuff mounted so I can turn the motor over and all that good stuff to get the 180 degrees and all that good stuff, but we're getting there. All right, so I did put the other bolts on just to kind of get everything tightened up, and I got my power steering pump and I started to kind of play with the install, and one of the screws here doesn't go down all the way, so I'm probably gonna have to tap it. It's probably got a little bit of paint in there from when they painted it and all that stuff, so I'm gonna grab my tap kit. We're gonna go ahead and tap this out and make sure this thing threads properly. So quite a bit of metal shavings came out of there, and I probably got to clean off all my stuff here. I'll clean that up, blow this out, and then we're going to give this bolt a try. Alright, so now we're going to install the crankshaft gear here. And when you install the washers, there is kind of a curve. You want to put that on the outside so it doesn't rub the belt. So let's put this thing on. Alright, so I got the belt on. I went ahead and tightened it up a little bit here. And pretty much all I did was put the bolt in. Got that nice and snug. Then I rotated a little bit. So it's a little bit, I guess, out of top dead center. But we'll get that straight when we go to adjust the valves and all that good stuff. But everything is tight. I do actually may have to order a new crank pulley. I was noticing when I was cleaning this up. I got a nice crack right here. I'm not too happy with that. I think with the way it looks, it'll probably end up cutting a belt or something. So I don't want to do that, because I do want to try to keep my power steering and my AC. So I did find a kit out there. But I did paint the wing nut that goes for the power steering. All this will be adjusted once I get everything straight. One thing I did do was I took off the fuel rail and I actually set my fittings in here. So I'll show you guys how I put that on. But I did get the threads all the way threaded in. They're all ready to go to receive it. Plus I got some new hardware to tighten that down. So we're gonna get that going. So naturally this is just temporary because I still got to get my fuel injectors and all that, but I just wanted to kind of see how it fits and make sure everything kind of lined up correctly. So it's coming along. So one thing I do like is that I put the 90-degree brass fitting on here, so that way I can get my fuel pressure. Everything's nice and snug, everything's there now, so that's good. Alright guys, but I think that's going to do it for this episode of the D16Z6 motor build. I did get a lot going on. Even got the belt tension, everything tight, all that's, you know, good to go. So I did have to order some parts. Again, I ordered a new crank pulley. So I should have that coming in here very soon, as well as I did order the belts for the power steering, as well as the alternator. So hopefully I can get all that stuff going. I went ahead and ordered some spark plugs, some spark plug wires, which means I got to work on the distributor, which I have over here. So I'm gonna get that painted and get that cleaned up and looking good and fresh and all that good stuff. And then I'll go ahead and do some more content for you guys. Again, it is starting to warm up a little bit. I think this coming week is supposed to be a little warmer, so I might go ahead and, you know, scuff this down a little bit, get rid of this run a little bit. Kind of thinking about maybe polishing the top here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thinking about maybe polishing that up a little bit, give it a little bit more contrast, you know, with the overall motor and all that good stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. But again, I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Also, it will be real quick on the Civic build here. Stay tuned for that. Right now, I still have the jack holding up the motor. I do actually have the transmission at a shop. I decided not to have the time to mess with it. So hopefully I can get them to bench shift that, and then I'll make a video for the Civic. But overall, it's coming along. But again, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Until then, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.